So, okay, hopefully that's my last adjustment. Okay. So whoever's coming in now, you're all very welcome. Settling into sitting or on the back. Maybe you do a little stretch as usual. I usually say, give yourself a bit of a stretch. Arms up or out to the side. Also, if you're lying down, just really just kind of, just give a good all over stretch to your body. And then settling in. If you're sitting, you might want to also just do the shoulders. I kind of almost naturally do that here, rolling the shoulders. So settling in. Bringing some stillness into your body now that we have all arrived here. And hopefully you're all getting a bit more familiar with our technology, so that's great. So we maybe also be able to relax more about it.
Certainly fluctuations is making that more difficult. So we're in a
I need to, the last adjustment, I need to move over now. I thought I did that, but obviously I didn't. Okay. Which you might also take a few deeper breaths in and out, if you're lying down or sitting, and all of that's helping to really allow us to really come into this space here now. And if you're, what I do here in my mind now, actually, even though I'm sitting here on my own, physically in my own space, but in my mind, you're all there. And it's lovely to know that we're in real time, we're practicing in real time here together in many different places, but with, genuinely with the same intention, coming together to practice, to pause, to spend some time checking in with ourselves, to self-care. We all might have very different, very specific intentions for our practice, but the overall practice, I would say, intention for all of us is probably just, this is a very special time and an important time we have made for ourselves. So maybe also in your mind you can see others, maybe from your own group, as you recognize the names, or just in general. And maybe we can all picture ourselves in a circle, with a candle perhaps in the middle. Becoming still. Settling in. And I'm going to ring my bell now 3 times to invite us to be here together in that stillness, even though we're going to be moving and I'm going to be talking, but there is perhaps that, we can maybe tap into an inner stillness. That doesn't mean we're not moving, but it's just maybe a quiet, a calm place within somewhere. Just if you're sitting, I'm just going to sit for another short moment, and then everybody who is sitting, when I say, you can then also lie down, and we're going to do our breathing lying down. So, but just maybe another moment, just sitting with that stillness here. If it helps you, keep visualizing yourself where you are, the space, feeling into your body. Maybe the connection your body has with the ground, maybe the whole of your body, the back of your body, or just the lower part of your body if you're sitting. So becoming, that sense of grounding ourselves. Sometimes we really just need to ground ourselves, to come in, to be present. I also want to take this moment to just remind you all that it is a bit different than being in a real class where I can't really keep my eye on you, like, in a detail. So to just to remind you to really stay close to yourself and listening to what your body really needs. Listening and exploring in a gentle and safe way of what is right for you. So that we can all practice here safely together. And it's not about, always getting the most maximum out of maybe the physical movements. We can do other things for that, but this is slightly different. Yoga, of course, we want to be flexible and strong and move our body to as best as we can, but that's not always the aim. It's more the quality we bring to the practice and our ability to stay close to ourselves. So please do take care as best as you can. And this is actually the first principle, or the first, actually we call them principles in the yoga, which is called ahimsa. And ahimsa literally means no harming. So this is always the first principle, ahimsa, non-harming. And of course, we can take that to other levels as well. Maybe, taking it also to a mental level. Maybe just listening to yourself, of how you maybe talk to yourself, maybe during the practice. So even there, even words and thoughts can be in some ways harmful. So can we be kind to ourselves throughout the practice? So maybe leaving that, always somehow in the back of your mind, that non-harming. If you're in doubt, just do a little bit less. So for anybody who's sitting or still sitting, you can now please also lie down on your back in Shavasana. So Shavasana is the pose where you lie on your back, and you have a choice. You can either have your knees bent, so the feet are on the ground, supporting your legs, and in this case also supporting your back. Or if you're really comfortable, if the back is fine, then you can have your legs straight out, having them a little bit apart, so that your feet can naturally roll away from each other. With a little bit of distance, the legs with a bit of distance. And then checking in with the trunk so that you feel the trunk is straight. And checking in with your shoulders. Are the shoulders at ease? Can they roll back towards the ground? And the arms are comfortable alongside your body. They can even be a little bit away from your body. They don't have to be literally right on your trunk, with the palms facing upwards, if that's comfortable. Check it out, and if it's not, find maybe what is right. But perhaps not having the palms necessarily facing downwards, because that kind of rolls the shoulders in. So, you know, maybe palms facing towards the body is okay too. And then checking in with your neck and head. If you do have the support, some people use supports underneath the head, just making sure it's in the right place, and also it's not too high, that your head isn't actually lifting a lot off the ground. So, you know, it's more kind of leveling it out rather than lifting the head. And the head in alignment with the rest of your spine. So when you have that sense of alignment through your trunk, it follows that line all the way up to the very back of the head. So in principle now here that the position is comfortable. Shavasana means comfortable pose, ease, where we are completely at ease. And then when you have settled, then scan the body with your mind, so you don't have to move any part of the body. For the moment, it's totally okay to keep your body completely still. But moving your mind literally through the body, from your toes, from the tips of your toes, systematically through the whole of your body, up through your legs. And the way you're doing it, it's very systematically, so nothing is being left out or forgotten. And the mind is a way of accessing each part. So when you come to each part, for that very brief moment, you're giving it your full attention. So if you are with the toes, really give it your full attention, feeling the toes, how they are just in that moment. And then moving on to the next. So it's a quite deliberate practice. It is kind of slow, but you not get stuck anywhere. So we want to keep moving the mind like a scanner, maybe a very slow scanner in this case, where the light beam of your mind, of your awareness, scans the entire body from your feet up to the very top of the head. And if you get lost somewhere, you get stuck somewhere, the mind goes away. The moment you notice, come back to where you were last and just continue with the scan, going through the whole of your body. And in this way, we're waking up each part of the body to our awareness. In yoga, we talk a lot about prana. Prana means the life force, energy. And wherever we're directing our minds to, this is where we're waking up the prana, the life force. So wherever you go with your mind now in your body, you're literally waking it up, you're stimulating, you're kind of bringing it to your consciousness. And then when you have reached the very top of the head, when you have gone through every part, then now let the awareness expand in such a way that you really feel the whole of your body all together. So as you lie here now on your back in Shavasana, the experience of your entire body just as you are. And that awareness now is a bit like hovering. It's a very light touch awareness that really can include the whole of your body and being here. And then in that awareness of your body, also noticing the breath. Becoming aware of the breath coming and going in your body. Awareness of the breath just gently moving in and moving out. Now you might experience it as a very definite movement in your body. It might be a rising or expanding sensation with the inhalation, and that kind of relaxing or softening sensation with the exhalation. And for now, it's perfectly okay to let the body just breathe. There's no right or wrong way right at this moment how to breathe. And then if it's okay for you, bring the hands on maybe both hands on the navel, or one hand on the navel, the other one on the chest. So we're going to move on now to the first pranayama, our breathing practice, pranayama prana. Again, it's energy and also connected with the breath. So we will be working with the breath here. So starting with our abdominal breath. When you breathe in, the next time through your nose, letting the breath slowly, gradually move all the way towards your navel area, and feel the navel area rising a little bit with the inhalation. And then with the exhalation, that area is softening again. So you might feel a softening underneath your hand there now, or both hands if you have them both there. So let your breath in general become that little bit slower, a little bit deeper, reaching all the way to the navel. Not so much at the moment important about the chest. The chest will rise, but this is not our main area. The main area for the moment is really the abdominal area. So that actually means deep breathing. Sometimes we get a bit confused about deep breathing, and people think it's, if the chest moves an awful lot, that is deep breathing. But actually, deep breathing means deep down. So we're going right down to the lower parts of the lungs. And this is stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system, which is that part of the nervous system that is calming. Slow, deep breaths are calming. They might also be kind of soothing or comforting, which is all associated, of course, with calming. And maybe we will have to resort a lot of times to our abdominal breathing in times when it is actually, when it becomes a little bit overwhelming, our situation or wherever we find ourselves. So continue with abdominal breathing, and if you're familiar with full yogic breath, then please continue in your own time also with the full yogic breath, which means you breathe first towards the navel and then continue to fill up the middle part, so that is the chest, and then right up to the collarbones. And you can have a little pause there at the end of your inhalation, and then slow, long breath out. So remember always that long breath out. Whatever you do, see if you can practice here our long exhalation. So even if you do abdominal breathing, it's not just about the inhalation, it's a lot about the exhalation. That is the calming part. So just for another moment here, breathing whatever way. You might be abdominal breathing or you might be yogic breathing. Stay close to your breath. What exactly does it feel like when you breathe like that? So it's also good to explore it beyond just the physical experience of it. Breath and mind and breath and emotions, they are intimately linked. They all influence each other. The way we breathe will influence our feelings and our thoughts. The way we think and the way we feel will influence our way of breathing. And here deliberately be using the breath to deliberately bring bit more calmness and maybe stillness into the mind, and maybe soothing our emotions. So continue for another 2 rounds here. And it's not instant. It doesn't mean if you take 3 deep breaths in, you get the equivalent of a calm mind. This is not how it works. It's actually much longer lasting, and maybe sometimes the reaction can be even delayed. So it's not an instant. It might be, but it's not always the case. So one more round. Next time you breathe out, just do one last round here. And then after that exhalation, you can relax the arms, stand alongside your body. Again, just checking in with the whole of your body here. How are you now? And then you can start to move a little bit the feet and the legs. We're gonna come up in a moment. So just moving a little bit the feet, the legs. You might move your hands a bit. You might roll your shoulders. You might roll the head before you roll over to get up. So just maybe rolling the head gently from side to side. And then even again, give yourself a good all over stretch, lifting the arms, stretching through the whole of your body down into your heels, whole body stretching, reaching, and then releasing. So if it's okay, you can come and roll over and gradually coming up to stand on your mat. So standing so that you can, hopefully you can see me fully. If you are seeing me, maybe you don't, it's okay. You don't have to see me. So hopefully the instructions will be clear enough in some ways. That's my challenge. Good. So feet are a little bit apart, standing tall. Letting yourself settle. So from lying down or from sitting to lie down, now we're standing up here. Maybe feeling and embracing the full length of ourselves. Can we really inhabit our full length? And then you can turn the palms forward, so the arms alongside the body, palms facing forward. And with an inhalation, lifting the arms out to the side, reaching up above the head, interlocking your fingers above the head, pushing the palms up and stretching up on the tips of your toes, really tall. And then coming down, heels down, hands on top of the head. So let's do another 5 stretches up and down. Maybe a little bit more dynamic. So starting to get the body going a little bit, stretching up. Good. And then the next time you come down, keep the hands on top of your head, step a little bit further apart, reaching up again, keep the heels down and just swaying from side to side. And you might bend the knee. If you go to the right, bend your right knee a little bit. So make it okay for your back. Yeah, so side bending, potentially strong on the back. So bend the knees, listen to the body, just go as far as you're comfortable with. So a bit more dynamic if you can. Keep lengthening though. So it's really important that we stretch and we sway at the same time, side to side. Good. One more. And then stretching up and releasing the arms. Stepping even further apart if you want to. And then we go from side to side. So soften the knees a bit. And you can sway and, you know, let the arms go out if you have the space. If you don't, then yeah, we don't want to be getting bruised on the furniture. Good. So let the arms flap around so they kind of really go behind the back, and it's good for the kidneys. So a little bit of kidney stimulation. Yeah, if you can, even go a little bit faster. So just, you know, make it safe, obviously, depending on your back. Good. Coming back to the middle. And then letting the arms swing up and down, and with the legs still apart, you can soften the knees and maybe do a sound. So watch out for your back. Bend the knees. Nice cleansing breath. 2 more. Good. Keep going with the hugging, and maybe you can still rock in your knees. Swaying, rocking up and down, and let the arms nicely go from side to side. Okay, starting to shake out, arms, legs. Right arm and left leg together, and you might sway a little bit to the side. Give it a good shake. And then left arm and right leg. And swaying a little bit out to the side. Arms, legs, hips, shoulders, everything. Okay. Oh, we're all kind of, well, I'm tingly. Good. Coming to the back of your mat. So you have the mat in front of you. We're going to come up on the tips of the toes. And then just walking on your tippy toes up and down the mat. So nice and light-footed. See if you can be nice and light-footed. Up and down the mat. Only on the tips of your toes. So the feet, the heels are off the ground. And then see if you can lift the knees a little bit higher. Just a little bit more knee lifting. Keep your upper body nice and upright. Shoulders relaxed. Good. 1 more, up and down. Okay. And then turning the feet, the inner arches up. So we're just walking on the outer arches. Up and down the mat. So just on the outer arches, up and down. And then the inner arches. My mat is migrating. So inner arches, lifting the outer arches up. Good, 1 more. And then feet out to the side, Charlie Chaplin. Flat foot, really want to make a good footprint the whole time, good footprint. And then turning the feet inwards, toes inwards, up and down. Great, and then coming back to the middle of your mat. So, I'll be having the heart going a bit here. So just let yourself stand for a moment, feeling into maybe the breathing, you know, hopefully you have got now breath up a little bit. So we're going to do a side bend first. So let's step a little bit apart with your feet. Standing tall. And then lifting your right arm out to the side and up above your head. So what we want to do is you want to stretch up through your right hand, stretching down through your right leg. And then you can bend your left knee slightly. And imagine now your left hand is going to pull you down. So the shoulder, everything is going down. Now the right arm comes with you if possible. So it stays the same distance from your head. And keep stretching down your right foot and stretching up towards your right hand. Good. If you're okay, you might even look up towards the hand. If that's okay for your neck. If it's not okay for your neck, you can just look forward, holding here for a moment. Can we breathe, particularly into our right side. And then push through your left leg and inhale, coming back up. And relax the arm. The other side, other thing to think about is when you go to the side, is imagine you're standing on a wall. So when you go down, so avoid kind of twisting the body. Yeah? So you really want to be just kind of, it doesn't matter how far you can go. Good, so left side, so left arm out to the side and lifting up, really stretching from the fingertips down to your left foot. And then bending your right knee. Now imagine that wall, you're gonna slide down. The right hand is pulling you down. The right shoulder goes with it. So relax your right shoulder, leaning to the right. Now, if you want to, you look up towards your left hand, but if that's too much, you can look down or forward. The main thing is to keep stretching, not going downwards, but stretching more up to the fingers of your left hand and down of your right and left foot. And then inhale, stretching up. Exhale, bringing the arms down. And now we're gonna follow that with a forward bend. So softening the knees, sliding your hands down on the thighs, push your buttocks out behind. So the first step always is hands on the knees, elbows on the knees. Relaxing here. Now if you're, because that's gonna just check your back. How are you with your back here? And you might choose actually to stay here and do nothing, don't go any further. But if you can let the elbows slide off and hang down. Now you can definitely keep your knees bent. They don't have to be straight here. And you might breathe out through your mouth. You might even open the mouth. Maybe even stretch out the tongue, the lion. So lovely stretching out. And then wiggle out your shoulders. Wiggle out your shoulders. Maybe let the head move a little bit. And then swaying the whole trunk from side to side. All of this only if you're comfortable with it. And then with the knees well bent, place your hands on the thighs. And just slowly, gradually rolling up, straightening up. Nice and tall, maybe feeling that tallness even going beyond the top of the head. So we stretch out with the feet still a little bit apart, just lifting up the arms out to the side, shoulder height. And then pulling the fingers up, and we're going to just stretch into the elbows. Of course, it's very strong here for, kind of more of a nerve stretch. Stretching out, holding for a moment, breathing. Then point the fingers downwards and turn the arms so that the fingers pointing backwards. And you might even let the arms go back a little bit. Okay, so holding here for a moment, breathing. And then turning the arms all the way around, stretching the hands out again. And as if you want to turn the arms in such a way that the little fingers are going to point upwards. And again, you want to stretch backwards. So we're really stretching through the heart center here. And then relaxing the arms, relaxing them here down. Bring them behind your back, interlock your fingers. And then maybe bring your chin down already, so you're relaxing your neck, and then pull out, stretch into the elbows, rolling the shoulders back so we all feel a good stretch, the chest area. Breathing here. Maybe another breath into the chest. Gently releasing the hands and the arms. And then bringing the arms forward, interlocking the fingers here, interlocking the fingers, and then pushing the palms forward and round your upper body a little bit. So what I normally do is I have my knees slightly bent, the head relaxing. So it's really more about the upper body, stretching here. And then lift the arms up above the head again. Stretching up, really tall. And then releasing the arms gently out to the side, all the way down. So all this lovely for the shoulders and arms, and you might roll the shoulders here a little bit to release. Okay. Good, so you can come to the front of your mat so that you have space behind you. Yeah, so you have more, making sure that you have space behind you to step back. So if you have things there, you might want to take them away from the mat or whatever you need. Good. So with the feet, if you look down to your feet, you can spread out your toes a bit, and at least one fist ideally fits between the feet. Yeah, sometimes two fists, but at least one. Standing tall, again in Tadasana, our standing pose. A natural alignment, you know, can we feel and sense into a natural alignment where the weight is evenly distributed through both feet. We feel naturally tall, centered. So neither forward nor back, or to the sides. And then bring the hands into prayer pose. So the palms gently coming together, the fingers tips gently touching. The elbows a tiny bit lifting out to the side. And maybe, you know, what can be helpful here is instead of bringing the hands towards the chest, see if you can lift the chest a little bit more up towards your hands, to the heel of your hands. So there's definitely a lifting through the heart area here. And then from here, let the arms stretch up above the head. Really stretching up. Push the feet down, looking up towards the hands, or just look forward. So really stretching out. Then bend your knees really well, as far as you can bend them with the heels still on the ground. And then go forward and down. Keep your knees well bent. We do the dive pose here. So that you're kind of coming down with the belly on your thighs, the head towards your knees, and the arms reaching behind you with the palms up. And then when you inhale, let the arms go forward. Keep your knees like still bent, pushing up, pushing through your legs all the way up. And we do that again. So bend your knees really well. Push your bum out behind you. Stay low. Bringing the belly onto your thighs. Head towards the knees. Bringing the arms back behind you. And then inhale, swinging the arms forward and pushing through your legs, coming up. And you probably all feel it in your legs now, hopefully. So once more, bend the knees really well, pushing the buttocks out behind, going forward and down and up again. Inhale, stretching up and bringing the hands back into prayer pose. So that usually gets the heart going because we're using big, big muscles here. Good. So we're going to do for a normal forward bend now. So inhale, coming up, stretching, bending the knees well, bending forward and down. So this time you don't have to bend as much. Bring your fingers beside your toes if you can. Head towards the knees. And then take the right leg back and the left leg back. So both legs are back now. The hands are spread out, the fingers. And if you look towards your feet, they should still be at least hip-width apart. And you can bend one knee at a time. So bend your right knee and stretch into your left heel at the same time. And then you change over. As if you're walking on the spot here. Walking mountain. Lovely. Hopefully you can all feel the stretch in your calves. But I also would like you to feel something in your toes. See if you can roll over the toes. Give them a nice stretch here. And then keep your knees slightly bent, both knees at the same time. And see if you can really push from your hands back
And at the same time, if you can lift your sitting bones or your bum upwards. So we'll be describing here a kind of a pointy mountain, the Sugarloaf. And then coming down onto your knees. You might relax your toes here for a moment. And we're gonna do 3 cats. So inhale, dipping down, the lower back dips down, dipping down between your shoulder blades. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lift your chest forward, lifting the head. And then relaxing the head forward and down and push through your arms and let each vertebrae of your back pull upwards. So we end up being a round back, an arched back, tailbone is pointing down. And then dipping down again, lower back, middle back, so keep your arms straight, lifting the chest forward, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the head. And then relaxing the head, pushing down through your arms, curling up the spine. So fantastic practice for your back. Bending or arching downwards and arching upwards. Always mind your head, you know, the neck is, it's not so important that you do a lot of head lifting. So with this one, after the arch, bring your buttocks all the way back towards the heels. Now we want to still stretch the arms forward, so the extended child pose. Buttocks push back, arms stretching forward, head relaxing. It might come onto the ground, it may not come onto the ground. It's not important. Nice. What's important is to feel a good stretch through your back. And then come back up onto all fours, hands and knees. And we're gonna go for the tiger pose now. So with an inhalation, let your right leg lift out behind you. Dip again down in your spine gently, lifting the chest forward, lifting, or just lift the head so you can see the front of your mat. That's plenty here. And now bring your right knee towards your chest and the head towards your knee as close as you can. Stretch through your arms so you're nice and round. Ideally the leg stays off the ground, but if you can't, tuck the toes down. And then we start again. Inhale, right leg lifting out behind, dipping downwards in your spine, lifting perhaps the head. Exhale, head and knee come together. Rounding the back, pushing through your arms. Nice hip flexion here. And once more, stretching out the right leg. So you want to feel an extension in your right hip. Do you all feel a nice extension of the hip? And then exhale, coming together, head and knee towards each other. And then bring the right knee on the ground. You might just give your hands a shake if it's strong in your arms and hands. And, you know, if you're just very new and you haven't done that much, just, you know, you might only do one tiger today. That's fine. Good. So left leg, back onto all fours. Left leg stretching out behind, feeling the extension in your hip. Dipping down your spine, lifting head or shoulders, chest forward. Exhale, bring your left knee back towards your chest, head towards your knee, and out again. Inhale, extended leg, dipping down in the spine. Exhale, coming together, knee, head coming together. And extending once more, out to the side, out, back, lifting forward, and knee and head together. And then bringing the knee down. Take the weight of your hands by pushing back again. And the extended child, so lovely stretch to the back. If it was strong somewhere in your back, maybe the lower back, you can breathe into it. Might release some of the tension there. Coming back onto all fours. Again, we tuck our toes under, so the toes are tucked under. And then you lift the knees off the ground and push back from your arms. So we're back in our mountain pose. Keep dropping the head. Keep relaxing the head. Holding here for an extra breath. Long, steady breath, particularly breathing out. It's a great pose here. Good for your heart. And then bring the knees briefly down. Step forward with your left foot, ideally where it came from originally. And then the right foot forward. So both feet forward. Knees are still slightly bent. And then lift your arms forward and up. Straightening up. So we're back up again. Hands above the head and bring the hands into prayer pose. So close your eyes for a moment, hands in prayer pose. You might still adapt that lifting of the heart, maybe lifting a little bit of the elbows out to the side. Visualize yourself in the tree pose. So that tree pose, if you don't know the tree pose yet, then you can't obviously visualize yourself in it. You're gonna see it in a moment. But if you are, then just seeing yourself in it. You open your eyes, keep your hands in the position, you open your eyes. Let your weight gradually shift onto your left leg. So make sure that left foot is really taking the weight now. And then literally lift up your right foot. Now you might place it on top of your left foot. Or you might place the foot on the inside of your, below your left knee, with the knee pointing out to the side. Then gradually letting your arms lift upwards. Now, if you find you get very wobbly, you might let the arms go out to the side as well. So you have more to balance with. But if it's okay, maybe keep them together. And sometimes it helps to interlock the thumbs so you can really keep the palms quite close together here. And keep stretching down into your left leg. Holding, of course, you might be falling out and coming back in again. You can always have your foot a little bit on the ground, your right foot. So that you might really manage to stay here, even just for a short, for 2 breaths or so, still in the pose. Eyes focusing somewhere in front of you. And of course, breathing if you want to be a living tree, a breathing tree. Good. Then coming out, slowly bring the arms back into prayer pose. Let your right foot rest back on the ground, closing the eyes. So from here, inhale, arms stretching up, long, tall. Exhale, we're bending down with the knees really well bent. So dive pose again 3 times. So really well bending the knees. Arms go behind your back, head towards the knees. Inhale, swinging the arms forward. Now do it slowly. The slower you do it, the more you walk your legs. And we do it again. Exhale, bending your knees really well, pushing the buttocks way out behind you. Going down, relaxing the head towards the knees, arms back. Inhale, lifting up, push through your legs, stretching up. And one more, bend your knees well, push the buttocks out behind you. Going down, arms back. And coming forward, inhale, stretching up. And then bring the hands together into prayer pose. You might feel the heart rise, certainly feel my heart beating from, just using those big muscles here, the leg muscles. So inhale, we stretch up. Bending your knees a little bit, not as much. Coming forward and down, so more also stretching forward and down. So bringing the fingers beside your toes. So if you're looking down, fingers and toes pointing both forward in one line, as if you're standing on a line here. Head relaxed, holding for a moment, forward bend. Now soften the knees, it doesn't have to be straight legs. Holding here. And then bend your knees a little bit more, step back with your left leg, step back with your right leg. So we're back in our mountain. Toes are spreading out, fingers spreading out, knees a bit soft. Can you say yes or no with your head? Now, not like as a word, more as a head movement. Yes or no, very gentle. Head can relax here. And then we do our walking mountain again. So really bending one knee at a time, stretching into the other. Good. Holding just a moment with the knees bent. Think of your sugar loaf. Can you be pointy? Stretch back from the arms. You want to feel a bit of a stretch in your armpits. So, you know, that extension there through the upper body. And then coming down onto all fours. And you can relax your toes. So you have a choice now. You can do 3 cuts again. Remember the cut here where you dip down and then you arch up. Yeah. So that might be the variation you choose if your back is, you know, if you just want to be really careful with your back. So you do that. Otherwise, you can sit back on your heels. And then with an inhalation, we come forward. And this time you keep going forward, letting the hips gently dip down as the arms stretch out and the chest lifts forward. So our cobra pose here. And you relax the head then and you round your back, really round your back to pull back. So if that is too much, remember you do 2 more cuts on all fours. So 2 more otherwise, coming forward and up, inhale. Be careful with your back here, careful with your neck. Rounding the back, exhale, pushing back. Nice extended child here. And 1 more, coming forward and up. And back, rounding. Holding here the extended child. Coming onto all fours. And this time, we're not doing the tiger, we're doing a cat balance pose. So what we do is from here. So the hands and knees are on the ground here for the moment. And then let your right arm lift forward. And if that's okay, start lifting your left arm out behind you. Now watch out for your lower back. If you find your lower back is really dipping down very much, pull in your belly a little bit. You don't have to lift the leg very high. So keep look, then you can look forward towards the right hand or look down onto the floor. And stretching into arm and leg and breathing here. Feel free to come out when you need to come out. It's a strong pose, it's strengthening, it's balance. And then coming out everybody. Hand and knee back onto the ground. And in between, curl up your spine, making sure the back is heavy again. Then coming onto the neutral position, and we do the other side. So left arm lifting forward, right arm stretching out behind. You can either look towards the hand or look down onto the mat. And just keep stretching into arm and leg and breathing. Mind your back. Mind your back, your lower back particularly, maybe breathing into or tucking in the lower abdomen. Holding, can we breathe here for another moment? 1 breath. And then coming down. Again, curling up your spine. Sitting back in the extended child pose, the buttocks back, arms forward, head relaxing. Coming up onto all fours, tuck your toes under, and we push up again, mountain. So pushing back, relaxing the head, nice pointy sugar loaf. And then bring the knees down and step forward with your right foot that came from. And then the left foot steps forward. forward bend here. Then bend your knees, lift your arms, stretching yourself up, really extending, hands back together in the front prayer pose. So just letting yourself settle here, eyes can be still closed, hands still in front of your chest in prayer pose. And then we prepare for the tree on the other side. So it will be your right leg. So hands together, the eyes will be open for this now. So maybe just focusing somewhere ahead of you. Taking weight onto your right leg. And only when you feel, okay, it's really stable here. Let your left foot perhaps lift up. Maybe the toes can still be on the ground here or on top of your right foot. Or go a little bit higher below the knee. But importantly, do keep the knee out to the side. Now, if you want to maybe interlock your thumbs and then stretching up. So if you find it very wobbly, it's probably better to have the arms out to the side. And maybe you even have a wall here somewhere if you need one. So stretching up, otherwise you might have the hands up together, making yourself really narrow, really slim. So you want to really stretch down through the leg, up through the arms, knee out to the side, focusing the eyes ahead of you, breathing here in the pose. Maybe we can get a moment of stillness. And then bringing the hands back. Bringing the arms down. And closing the eyes again. So we're back in Tadasana here, standing. Again, including the whole of your body and your whole being here. So we have stretched out, moved, balance. Got the breath going, got the heart going. And then come and lie on your back. So back in Shavasana, but with the knees bent. So everybody, once you lie down, perhaps also make sure you have a bit of space behind you. Yeah, so when you lie down, that you have the space behind you here with your arms. And when you're lying down, have your feet supporting your legs. So your knees are bent. The feet maybe on the knees are a little bit to the front of your knees. Allowing the back to just get comfortable here. You might check in with your shoulders. You can have your arms down alongside the body. Checking in with your neck so that your chin is, the distance between the chin and the chest, this might be a tennis ball size. So this is, we call it the restorative pose. So ideally, the way you have placing yourself here now is comfortable. There's not much you need to be doing, holding here, actively. Just let your breath settle. You might even taking a few deeper breaths in and out here. The pelvic tilt, that movement from this position here where you let your lower back, imagine your lower back is coming really flat to the ground. So the feeling is that you're rolling your sitting bones forward. Now, you're not lifting up the buttocks. If you do lift up the buttocks, you have probably gone a little bit too far. So there's no pressure or a lot of pressure into your feet. And then the opposite movement is arching the lower back. So you want to make a little gap here between your lower back and the mat. Yeah. So flattening the lower back, you're pressing down gently. And arching the lower back, you would be pressing more down the tailbone, so that very end of your spine. So making a hollow in your lower back.
So just a few moments here of pelvic tilting, pelvic rocking. Watch out for your neck. You might let the movement literally go all the way up to the back into your neck here. You feel it there. The movement itself is, the active movement is in the pelvis, but it might be going all the way up to the neck. And then gradually, the next time when you lower the lower back down, press the feet a little bit more firmly into the ground and do lift your bottoms. And then continue to lift. So we're doing Kandasana, the shoulder pose or bridge pose. So lifting up the middle back, lifting maybe right up towards the shoulder blades, wherever you can come comfortably. Now watch out for your chin. Is your chin popped up? So gently let it come down again. If you can, holding the posture. So take another breath or two here in the posture. The arms can press down a little bit, so you might even turn the palms downwards, so you can press the arms down, which maybe helps you to lift a bit more up from the upper body, the chest towards your chin. So holding here, checking in with your knees. Have they collapsed out to the side? So maybe you're standing more on the outside of your feet. So bring the feet really flat down again. Holding here for another breath. And then rolling the spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae. You can breathe freely. So there's no, you don't have to do it with one breath in and one breath out. So just breathing freely. We're going to repeat once more with a different variation. So if you find that was quite strong on your knees, maybe just stretch the legs out here for a moment. Give them a little rest. Good. So one more round. Feet flat again on the ground. The knees are hip width apart. And, for those who are used to the practice, just remember your knees. They will go out to the side if you don't pay attention to it. So we want to keep them, aligned. And then the arms are more closer in towards your body with your palms actually facing each other. So you have your hands now in such a way that it would be facing towards each other. At the moment, they're facing it towards your body. So this variation is lifting up, so rolling the lower back onto the ground first, and then pushing the feet into the ground, lifting the trunk, and at the same time, see if you can lift up your arms, so the palms are facing each other, as if you're lifting up a box between your hands. You lift them up, and see if you can bring them right behind your head. So the palms keep facing each other, so when you're right behind your head, the little fingers are to the top, and you want to keep stretching into your little fingers. And keep pushing the knees slightly forward. So there's a real extension here in the front of your body. From the knees right up to your chest. And ideally you also feel the groin area being stretched out. So again, very much extension for the hips, hip stretching. So breathing, of course, is very important. So can you breathe slowly and steadily? If you need to come out, you come out in your own time. Remember what I was saying in the very beginning, ahimsa, our non-harming. If you need to come out, please do so. Come out in your own time. It's not, it's not a weakness or anything. It's actually probably just wise listening to your body. And maybe next time you can stay a little bit longer. It's nothing here. You're not meant to do everything perfect the first time. But we have nothing to work with. If you're perfect, what are we working with in our lives? We're working with our kind of way of, not improving ourselves because we're already kind of in a way, good enough. But it's more, maybe we can just still grow. Maybe it's more of a growing process. Good. So the same with our physical, abilities. We can work on that. Good. Another breath here. And then slowly coming down And at the same time, let your arms come back down onto the ground as the trunk rolls down. And when the arms are fully down and the trunk has fully arrived back, then do again extend your legs. Let them stretch out here for a moment. See how it all feels. And then bring the knees back up towards your chest. So both knees now in towards your chest. You can bring your hands around your knees, interlock the fingers if they can go around the knees. If not, you might have the hands just behind the back of your thighs. So, and then just gently rock a little bit. Let the knees rock side to side. Let the knees gently rock forward and back. And then also, if it's okay with your next exhalation, knees towards your chest, head lifting up towards the knees, so rounding your whole back, and then releasing again, head and shoulders. And another round, exhale, lifting head, shoulders. Now, anybody who can reach the feet while you're up, then stretch out your arms and reach for your feet. Inhale, releasing again, head and shoulders. Again, exhale, coming back, head and shoulders coming up, hands on your knees. And releasing. Gently placing the feet onto the ground. Again, hip width apart if possible. Let your arms stretch out to the side, about shoulder height, if you have the space. Palms facing up. Let both knees gradually roll to your right side. They don't have to be together. Just let them roll wherever they can. Let your head roll to the left, so your head gently rolls to the left. So knees are pointing now down towards the right side. The head is towards the left side, and the shoulders are flat on the ground. Holding here for a moment. If that's not comfortable for your back, you might adjust a little bit. Maybe bring the knees closer together or further apart, or whatever feels right for you. So in our spinal twist here, it's a gentle twist, nothing, we have done most of our practice now, but this is more just as an easing pose. And also it's a very helpful pose to move into our relaxation. So adjust a little bit if you have to. So make it comfortable, but at the same time, there is a sense of stretching out a bit on the left side. And the chest feels open, that whole sense of opening in that spinal twist from the upper body. And then staying in the pose for a moment, breathing, maybe eyes can be closed. Eyes closed can often help us to go back to really listening to what am I experiencing right here in this moment. And even just figuring out, how is every part, like how are my knees in relation, the position of my knees in relation to the hips or in relation to the shoulders. So we're also really educating ourselves here about the body and learning the language of the body through sensations, perceptions. So just another moment here in the pose, present, curious, interested, friendly. And then slowly coming back, turning the head, gently lifting the knees back. And then going the opposite direction. So letting the knees gently roll to your left. Head rolling to the right. Shoulders and arms are relaxed. Also here, adjust maybe your position with your knees so it suits your body, it suits your back, it suits your hips. And then holding here for a moment in that position. Staying present, listening. And then slowly coming back, head and knees. And I recommend to first maybe let the legs extend and just really see how you're feeling it overall, how the body is. And then perhaps making a very informed kind of decision of what else you might need right now. So we've done this, we're coming in a moment, we're going to come back into Shavasana, the relaxation pose for our relaxation practice. So you might feel really putting the knees up towards the chest and hugging them in again for a moment, or you feel more like an all-over, a good all-over stretch. So whatever feels right for you. So we have come to that part where we go into getting ready for relaxation. Shavasana again. So you might want to, anybody who wants to sit, you're always welcome to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing relaxation practice, even sitting up. But, most people, I would say, probably prefer the lying down version. So you might even cover yourself. If you're just on the edge of being kind of comfortable with the temperature, you might want to have something to cover yourself. So making yourself comfortable here now. You can have your knees bent if you prefer to support your back, or if you're at home, you might have all the cushions you need, and you can actually have them underneath your knees while the legs are straight, but just putting something underneath the knees gives that little bit of ease to the back. So whatever position you're choosing, it's right for your body. It's right for your body in this moment. Maybe it was different from last week. Maybe you need more support, or maybe your body is a little bit easier today, has more comfortable. Maybe your back is much more relaxed. So becoming aware of the entire body, the position, the contact your body has with the ground. And allowing the body to become still, so we're back into stillness, physical stillness. Reminding yourself again of maybe your intention for the practice in general. So we're coming back to it again and again. Here, time for yourself. Becoming aware of the weight of your body. And imagine that with each exhalation, more of your body can release. The legs can get a little bit heavier with each exhalation. The trunk can get a little bit heavier. The shoulders and the arms can get a little bit heavier with each breath out. Releasing through the head getting a little bit heavier with each breath out. Now awareness of the whole of your body here. Again, the awareness including every part of you. And without having to move any part of the body, just bringing your mind to your toes. You don't need to move the toes, just becoming aware of the toes. The soles of your feet. The inner arches and outer arches. The heels. The ankle joints. Awareness of your lower legs, the calves and the shin bones. Awareness of your knees. Awareness of your thighs, the front of your thighs and back of the thighs. And now both legs together, experiencing both legs together here. Awareness of your hips. Awareness of the whole pelvic region, the buttocks, the pelvic bones. And then moving awareness up to the lower back and the middle back and the upper back, where the shoulder blades are and the space between the shoulder blades. Awareness of the entire back here together. And then becoming aware of both shoulders. The upper arms, the elbows, forearms, wrists, hands and fingers and fingertips. And awareness of both arms together. And awareness of the neck, the back of the head, the very top of the head. And awareness to the whole face, the forehead, the eyebrows and eyebrow center. The eyes and eyelids. The cheeks. The nose and tip of the nose. Upper lip, lower lip. Both lips together. The chin. And that whole jawline from ear to ear. And then the whole neck, head, and face together here. And then awareness to the front of the trunk, the collarbones, the chest bone, the whole heart space area. The upper abdomen, lower abdomen, and the whole front of the trunk all together. And now both legs together, awareness of both legs. Awareness of both arms. Awareness of the whole trunk, the front and the back. Awareness of the whole head, face and neck. And now the whole body. Awareness of the whole of your body. Resting here in stillness. And the breath coming and going freely. Allowing the breath to literally come and go freely. Body breathing for you. Perhaps going to a place within yourself, maybe a calm place, maybe a still place. Wherever you might experience that, maybe a place of ease. Maybe it's around the heart or the abdomen or somewhere, the head, wherever you might experience a place of ease or stillness or comfort. A safe place. Maybe a place you know well, maybe it's a place you tend to go. Maybe you're aware of it, maybe you're not so much aware of it. You might just do it more just instinctively. Maybe it's always the same place, or maybe it's changes. And if you don't have a place like that, maybe just for now finding somewhere in the body that's really comfortable to be. There might be something to explore more consciously. A safe place for ourselves where we can go. Maybe we can cultivate it. Like planting a garden, we can plant the seeds. And like in the garden, maybe it needs patience. We can't force something to grow, willing it to grow. We can perhaps be there present for it, patiently nurturing it, giving it what it needs. Maybe it needs water, maybe it needs nutrients, maybe it just needs sunshine and light. So just gradually deepening your breath, expanding the awareness. Moving a little bit the body. And as usual, we will just sit up for a moment to complete our practice together. We might visualize ourselves again in a big circle with a candle perhaps in the middle. We're connecting in that way. We have practice together, and just even that can be so supportive, you know, for a lot of people. Maybe they, you know, as we are now, we are isolating in a way. We don't have a lot of real connection, physical connection, but it can be so helpful just to even visualize ourselves here together in a big circle, practicing or having practiced. And in that way, I do think we do get support from that. We can get support from that. I thought I might finish today with the words of John O'Donohue. It's a blessing. I always, go back to it quite a lot, you know. Maybe sometimes just one line of it, but it's definitely, can be good. I've given it out before. May I live this day compassionate of heart, clear in words, gracious in awareness, courageous in thought, and generous in love. May I live this day compassionate of heart, clear in words, gracious in awareness, courageous in thoughts, generous in love. So we can bring the hands together into prayer pose, connecting with our own heart. May you all be safe, may you all be well, may you all be healthy, and may you all live with ease. And we complete our practice with our 3 Shantis. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your practice. I will bring you all back in, and if you want to say something, you can. Of course, you don't have to. So I'm going to